All right, guys. Today's video is an island germination update. This is definitely the absolute fastest return I have ever seen up here in this soil, as far as how fast things have come up and just flat out booking it. We have really high germination rates here. And look at all my oak nuts falling out now. This is setting up to be a fantastic attraction plot. I sowed extremely thick in here compared to a larger plot. You want to make these small plots really thick. That way when deer start browsing on this, there'll be a bunch of extra plants in here compared to a larger plot. If they're more scattered out, weeds have a chance to come up in here and choke out plants I don't want. But this island is progressing at a really nice pace compared to what I thought it was going to be. I think fine-tuning some of my methods has really helped. And of course, I'm never done fine-tuning anything. Adding trace minerals has been a big help. Although I haven't scattered it over the whole island, the back half is one of the worst areas, and that's where I focused a lot of the trace minerals. There's 44 pounds alone in that back corner. And yet again, we have some problems back there, but this time I don't think it's soil related because the turkeys showed up. And I believe some of them big old toms that were in here did some seed harvesting for whatever I didn't bury with a tiller, which reduced some of my germination rates on the back end. But that's okay. Plenty of seed. I can try to recover all of that here really soon. It's important, at this stage of your food plots that you need to come in here, see what is lacking as far as your germination goes, and quickly fill those in, because this type of planting, you're on a time crunch before the cool weather kicks in, and or in this particular case, leaf drop. I need this looking as strong as it possibly can before a lot of leaf drop happens. There's already some of that happening now. It's not a lot, but it is noticeable, which also means I'm gaining sunlight in here as each day goes by. A lot of these plants that I saved for grain purposes are trying to fill out. That looks pretty good considering the conditions it's in. Deer vetch greened up greatly. I did throw one handful of trace mineral in here just to see what would happen, and it darkened up a lot more. Matter of fact, this looks really dark and probably has now outdone my main deer vetch plot. So that's why I'm adding trace minerals to the main plot out there where the deer vetch is. There you go. You can see the flowers. There's a little bit of the seed for you. They don't stick to your clothes, so that's a good thing. It looks a lot like bagger lice. The soybean in here is actually gearing up and taking off even stronger than the last time I filmed this. That looks really good. This one here is still growing. Unlike my main plot, they are actually pretty much completely stopped growing. Partially, I think it's due to the sunlight increase. It's slowly happening over time in here. But look at this. I mean, you talking about something that's going to be a green carpet in no time? Look at all that. Solid. A little bit of a weaker zone right there, which is the same thing that happened there last year. So I'm eyeing that spot for additional seed to see if I can help it. And this spot right here by the big tree stump probably needs a little bit more, and just a little in this little blob and right in here. Although there is still germination, there's, you know, they're still coming up, but there's areas that aren't as impressive. So let's go check the back end. And real quick, I've already explained this before, but this is the old road bed my dad made some 30 years ago. And I think what has happened here is because you're lower here and you're a little bit lower here, all the good soil over the years has settled right in this road bed. And that's why it looks so strong germination wise. Let me just zoom in. See? Tall. A lot of that's 4 inches tall. Some of that's already 6 inches tall. And this has just happened within a few days. Even out there, look at that. Big time improvement here. So I'm looking forward to setting records up here in the island this year. I believe that's strongly going to happen. Now we get back here. This area was the worst growing spot in the entire area. And part of it is you're kind of dealing with a pine tree here. I think if that pine tree was out of the way, things would probably improve pretty quickly. Pine trees tend to be troublesome when you're trying to get some things to grow underneath pines. Mainly, I think it's because the acidity level that the pines keep raising the soil around them, and it makes it harder to grow things. So usually, I'll throw extra lime around those spots and try to fix it up. Now, here's a bit of a different story. Where I was tilling lightly, now you gotta remember, I'm not full dig deep tilling anymore. I lightly came across here, and when I hit this bump, it raised the tiller above the ground, and I didn't touch any of this right here until I got right about in there. And this area here is got a very low germination rate compared to the other spots. So that's just my tiller missing the mark. If I'd have lowered it maybe another inch or so, I probably would have scuffed it up enough to bury that seed. But the turkeys have taken whatever they can find. And that could be my big winter wheat, or my, the winter wheat and winter peas. Those winter peas stick out like sore thumbs to turkeys. They'll gobble them up really fast. No pun intended there. But see, right here's a wheat, I don't know why I want to keep saying wheat. Here's a winter pea. So let's get him somewhere where he can sprout and grow and fill that spot in. Here's another one right here. There's one already mostly buried. So there is some additional seed in here, and we're just going to have to wait and see. Well, I don't actually have to wait. I'm going to come in here and add some additional seed to this. Probably, by the looks of it, about 3 or 4 handfuls of really thick seed. And I may back the tractor in here and do another light till. I'll just have to kind of figure out what I want to do there. I can back it into here, fix this area up, but there is still sprouts coming up here. The back end over here, very, very heavy trace minerals here. Starting basically from behind this tree back, all the way to this dead oak, I flat out coated this place in trace minerals. All 44 pounds has been put out in that area. Is there a difference in soil that is pre-amended? I think so. This is already greener than a lot of the places in the island. It's growing stronger than I've ever seen it. Especially right here. I put mineral all the way across that road where I sowed the seed. Extremely heavy. And that way, if it does rain, because this is a downhill slope, it will continue to funnel in those trace minerals into the plot. That way I'll get a trickle feed if it does rain to where it floods your soil. And also removing some rocks, as I see some of these are causing problems. See what it would have done? Killed some seed off. So now I've freed that seed up. Love what I'm seeing here. Lots of small clover coming up right here. Not as much rye. So I'll be adding some rye. I'll be taking care of some of these other rocks here too after the video. That's another thing I've been coming up here doing, is removing additional large rocks that are popping up. I mean, this area here is doing fantastic. Fastest and thickest start to any plot that I've ever done up here. This is accelerating really quick. Even with a freshly rotting mat, that looks excellent. Darker soil. This is going to be, whew, I love it. I absolutely love it. So the island's progressing. Same thing on that corner. Big time progression out there. Now, the question is, will I continue to get enough rain to hold on to more moisture? I'm already increasing the moisture content now by creating these mats repeatedly. And it's already changed how this island has performed. But now I've got another mat added to places, not everywhere, because this right here didn't really perform well enough to make a solid mat, just sparsity. But now I'm holding moisture, and this becomes the lifeblood of the island. The longer I can hold moisture, the bigger these plants can grow without the use of rain. All right, guys, so there's your update. Few places to patch up. And I believe this place will rock and roll. And based on some future weather forecast, we may get another hurricane or tropical storm that has the possibility of passing over us, but that forecast can change. By the time they reach my area, they're pretty humble storms. They just dump a lot of rain. And that's exactly what I would love to have, is anywhere from 3 to 4 inches of rain right now. And I would feel very secured about how this plot's going to perform compared to last year, because we're already ahead of last year when I had no rain in August, September, and October. All right, have a good one, guys. That's the end of this video. More to come.